Hi YouTube.
Good morning, YouTube friends and family. It's your boy GB Reviews, and today we're doing another home chef meal. We're gonna do hot honey salmon. And so I'm gonna show you the ingredients that we need for the meal. I'll show you the meal prep card, and then I'll walk you through the steps to show you exactly how long this meal should take. Because it's salmon, I'm hoping it doesn't take more than like 20 minutes, and then it sounds good. I've never had honey butter salmon before. So we're gonna walk you through it and then we'll see exactly how to do it. All right, with that, let's get at it. So you see the meal bag, all the ingredients came in this bag, this home chef bag. And on the bag, it tells you what you're making and the contents. And then in the bag, you can see it comes with zucchini, pepper packets, which I'm not sure what I use them for yet, but I will find out probably to season the salmon. It comes with tomatoes, which I have to cut. It comes with one piece of salmon and butter, and then a honey packet. So you can see the honey packet, and then we're gonna mix this up following the instructions, and we should be able to do everything. And then on the card, it shows you what it should all look like, because we're gonna make the zucchini and everything. We're gonna cut it up, and then we're gonna cook it up at the end, the last step. So I'm gonna walk you through the steps. I can show you the card just so, and the nice thing about the cards they send you, and I told you they go into a recipe book, you don't need to order once everything is back to normal and we're not in these kind of lock-in situations. You can use the recipes to still make the meals because you know the portions. So it's kind of a good thing. Anyway, home chef, home cooking made simple, as you can see from the videos in the back. And I'm gonna make it simple for you, and we're gonna walk through the steps. All right, so please follow me along. And again, hit that like button for this video, because it helps with the YouTube algorithm. So let's make it happen. Honey salmon, or hot honey salmon. So I don't know what that means, but we're gonna find out. All right, let's go. All right, YouTube friends. So what we're doing now is the first part is what I should have done. And I said this the last time, is I should have prepped my vegetables beforehand, but I wanted to see you guys. I wanted to walk through the process with you guys. And so we are going to do everything. I'm cleaning everything right now, which I haven't done yet. Just so that's what you're hearing. I'm cleaning everything, walking through the process. For the tomatoes, we're gonna cut the tomatoes in half, and then this fish I will deal with in a second. But we're gonna do halves for the tomatoes, which is these are just cherry tomatoes. You're gonna cut them in half. We're gonna, for both of the zucchini pieces, because we're gonna saute this in a pan. You're gonna cut this. You're gonna cut the ends off of the zucchini, and then you're gonna cut it. So you're gonna cut it halfway like this. I'll show you. First, you're gonna cut the ends off. And again, I told you, having a sharp knife makes all the, like it's just slicing through like butter now. But you're gonna cut it in half first, and then we're gonna cut it in quarters. So you're gonna cut it in half, right? And we're gonna do both of those. Cut the ends off. Make sure you're using the zucchini and not a cucumber, because I don't think I've ever cooked a cucumber, but I don't think they cook up the same. Like, see, this is a cucumber. Anyway, this is what happens. I grab one of my own vegetables and it's a cucumber. I'm gonna cook it though anyway, because I've cut it now. But you can tell the difference between zucchinis and cucumbers on the inside. And you can tell by taste. They do not taste the same. So rule number one, learn if you're cutting a zucchini or a cucumber. I said that and I did it, just so you know. All right. Salads, sautés, but I'm gonna saute this today. And then the green onions, you want to trim the portions into 1-inch length. So we're gonna rinse this off because this is kind of, you know, they have that kind of, some people call them shallots, but they have a slimy film on them. And I'm gonna get this slimy film off, and then we're gonna cut them into 1-inch length. Not that it really matters, because once you start cutting them and you cooking everything, it doesn't matter if it's slimy. The sliminess goes away. But I don't particularly care for it when I'm cooking. It just feels, I don't know, like some kind of alien creature. Anyway, so you want to cut these in 1/8 length. First thing you want to do is we cut the ends off. We're gonna cut the ends off. And toss that. Oops. And then you can put them together. If you're gonna cut 1-inch lengths, you can just put them together, and then you can just cut them in 1-inch lengths together. That way you save yourself some time. And for me, I like these parts as well. So when you're cutting the ends, you want to cut the ends up and you just put them in a bowl. Because we're basically, all this stuff is going to go into a saute pan, and we're going to saute this with seasoning, and we're going to eat this with our salmon. So, and then these, remember I said you're going to cut these, so you cut it lengthwise, and then you cut it lengthwise again, sorry. And then they come in 1/4 wedges. So these are chef tricks. And see, then you have like 1/4 wedges, which is great. And then once you do the 1/4, you want to cut them in an angle, and then you want to again do 1/2-inch pieces. And so for these, you can line up, and you're gonna make these smaller pieces, right? And you just line them up. Again, if you have a really sharp knife, then it doesn't matter, and then everything just lines up. And then you can put them in the different bowl, but then I'm just gonna put it in the same bowl because it's all going the same place. Kind of like when you eat sweet stuff together with savory stuff. It's all going the same place. You know, I remember when we were kids, my friends would be like, "Oh, that's so nasty." Is it really? Is it really? You just think it's nasty because somebody told you it was nasty. The tomatoes, you're just gonna cut in half. And that's just to make them easier to cook. And again, when you have a really sharp knife, it's easy to do because I don't really have to do anything. If I had a dull knife, as you can see, it's pretty much I'm not even putting any force to it. It's just it's like those Gensu commercials. Look at this. The best thing to have in the kitchen is a sharp knife, because having dull knives in kitchens, it's horrible. I don't know, I keep calling it Tiny Chef. I don't know if you guys have ever played that game on, it was a game that used to be out in the App Store a long time ago, probably like 4 or 5 years ago, called Tiny Chef. And every time I think of Home Chef, I think of Tiny Chef, just because it was a cool game. And yeah, it's just very interesting. So, slice up all your ingredients, and now we're ready for the salmon part. So we're gonna move over to the salmon. We're gonna prepare this. I'm gonna rinse this just because it's been in my refrigerator for a bit. I'm gonna cut it and rinse it. I'm not gonna show you that part. And we're gonna move to the other side of the kitchen so we can pan sear the salmon. This is the next thing. So we're gonna pan sear the salmon. The other thing you have to do is, I forgot to tell you, is you gotta get a pan like this. You're gonna put aluminum foil in it. You're gonna spray the aluminum foil with some non-stick spray. I've already preheated my oven, and we're gonna put the salmon on here. Once we create the honey butter and stuff like that, we're gonna do all that. But I'm gonna walk you through all the steps for doing that. But I wanna sear the salmon and I wanna start cooking the salmon. Actually, let's do the butter first. Just because I think that's not gonna take as long. But I need to get another bowl. because I gotta find something to do with these tomatoes, right? And the rest of these zucchini. And then we're gonna do our butter in a bowl. Cause I wanna, remember, I don't know if you looked at my last video, but when I told you, I was like, prepping is key. And the reason that these videos are actually, it probably doesn't even take as long to make as it's taking me to make these meals for you guys. But because I'm doing the meals, you know, I have a lot of respect for television chefs and things like that. I'm gonna move this down a little bit. For television chefs, because they are doing a lot of the work. Well, they probably are doing a lot of work. Their staff is probably doing a lot of work, but there's a lot of work beforehand that goes into play. And a lot of times those meals take much longer than they need to take because they have to explain the steps. Like, you know, at one point today, I was like, I shouldn't even just explain this. I should just make it and be done with it. But I really want you guys to try the Home Chef meals because they just are really good. So this butter is sitting out. It's not really soft yet, but it's getting there. And basically, to make the honey butter glaze, I'm still leaving this out. I should put it, I'm gonna put it on top of I need it a little bit softer than it is right now. So I'm putting it on top of the stove, which is heating. So some of the heat from the stove will start to soften it. But basically, you wanna put the softening butter, the red pepper flakes, which I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put the pepper flakes just so you can see what I need to do. Pepper flakes in here. A pinch of salt, which I'm probably not gonna add a pinch of salt, but just imagine I'm putting a pinch of salt. I don't cook with a lot of salt, or I don't cook most dishes with salt unless they require salt. And then you're gonna put the honey. Remember, when you're dealing with your sweet one, you put the honey. Look at that. And actually I have my own honey, but the Bon Me, Bon Maman honey, I like Bon Maman, which is, I'm happy that they're using Bon Maman because I like their jams too. So you could do the same thing with honey, you could do the same thing with, and now this is actually pretty cool because when you see honey butter in stores, and this is spicy honey butter, I guess that's why they call it hot honey butter because of the pepper flakes. But when you see honey butter in stores, now you know, like, you can make this at home. You don't need some fancy place like Outback Steakhouse, and that's not even fancy, but you know what I mean, like a place like Outback or something like that to give you honey butter. Just make it at home. And this is what our pandemic kind of lock-ins are showing us. Like, some of the things that we thought we couldn't do or that we weren't able to do, we can now do at home. And that's what I like. I'm not sure, am I saving money? Probably. You know, I don't know, if you guys watch TikTok, you get that reference. It's about pixie sticks and stuff like that. You'll get that reference if you're a TikTok follower. If you're not, you're probably like, this dude is just crazy. Now, we have this stuff in the bowl, we're making it, and now we're just gonna mash it up. And so, if my honey butter, my butter was softer, it would definitely mix better. I didn't soften my butter enough. But the beauty of butter is that the longer I leave this out here, the softer it's gonna get. I've already mixed in the honey. And I probably could add more honey because I have more honey. And I could probably add more butter too. Because these 2 pieces of butter just, well, let's see how this tastes. Oh, that's pretty good. I like the heat too. I would make this just like on the regular without having to mix up a meal. And the pepper flakes, wow, that's amazing. Amazing. All right, now we're going to the salmon. Remember I told you I'm gonna have to, it's been in my refrigerator. I got this thing, not a while, I mean, yeah, I guess it was a while ago now. But I'm gonna wash this off. The nice part about the way they send it to you is they already send it to you cut, so you don't have to do anything. When I looked at it at first, I thought it was one whole piece that I was gonna have to cut in half. Again, remember the serving size that I got is serving for 2 adults. So I don't have to do anything to it. So for this, we're gonna move to the other side. We got a pan sear. So it says, place on a nonstick pan, add 1 tablespoon of olive oil, and you wanna sear each side for 2 to 4 minutes till it's golden brown. So we're gonna move to the other side of the kitchen so that you can see what I'm doing. And then we're gonna make it delicioso. All right, let's move. So now, once you heat your pan, you wanna have your pan on medium heat. And you're gonna take your salmon, and for 2 to 4 minutes, we're just gonna sear the bottom of the salmon. So you want the skin side up. While I'm doing that, I'm gonna spray my my tray that I'm gonna put the salmon in the oven on. I'm gonna spray it with nonstick cooking spray. So 2 to 4 minutes, this is gonna stay here, and you'll see what it looks like. It should be a golden brown when we're done, and then we're gonna put it in here, and we're gonna put it in the oven. My oven's preheated to 400. Remember, preheat to 400. And then you want your salmon, when it's done, after cooking in the oven, to have an internal temperature of about 145 degrees. So just remember, you don't have to cook the salmon very long. It's gonna be about 7 to 10 minutes in the oven. But when that's done, it should have a nice golden brown, and then we're gonna plate everything, and then you'll see how it looks when it's plated. But I wanted you guys to see this process because it's pretty easy, manageable. I don't need to move it around or anything, which is good. It's cooking. And then we're gonna roast the salmon, like I said, in the oven, and that should give us a nice roasted taste. And then just so you know, we're gonna use the same pan when we cook the zucchini and the tomatoes and everything. We're gonna saute that in the same pan. We're gonna clean it out first because you don't want to have that lingering fish taste for your vegetables, but we are gonna use the same pan. And if you look at it, and I'll show you, I'm trying to get the lighting better. We're gonna see if you see the bottom of the salmon, you see how it has that kind of golden color underneath there. So there's a pink area, and you can see where it's actually starting to cook. I'm gonna move this around a little bit just so you can see that you can move it a little bit, even though we're letting it sit for 4 minutes. So we have about maybe 1 more minute to go, and then this should be good to go in the oven. So. All right, so we're gonna transfer this from here to our baking sheet. And then I'm gonna clean this out, remember, because I wanna use this again. But we're gonna transfer this out. And so what we're gonna do now, we're gonna use this sweet basil and garlic rub. So sweet basil and garlic rub for the, I'm gonna use a different thing for my vegetables. But I just wanna sprinkle this on top. And then I might use a little bit of that for my vegetables too. And then we're gonna put it in here, and it's gonna stay in here for 7 to 10 minutes. All right, so we'll come back when that's done. Now, while my salmon is cooking, I'm going to take this as an opportunity to cook my zucchini, because zucchini takes a little bit longer to cook. The zucchini takes between 3 to 5 minutes, and then the tomatoes and the onions will take less time. So we're going to cook that first. You want to put that on medium-high heat, and then we're going to work in everything else. Now I see the error of my ways by not putting this stuff in separate bowls, but it's okay. You know, experience is the best teacher, right? So I cooked up I'm making a lot of zucchini. And I want to make sure the pieces are separated so that it's easy to cook. And once this starts to cook up pretty well, then we will add in the tomatoes, and this pan that's a lot of zucchini. My pan is a little small, but that's okay. I think once it cooks, some of the water will come out and it'll cook down. And then I'm gonna season this with a little bit of the seasoning that we saw earlier. And then I'm also gonna use the McCormick's spicy steak sauce. The nice part about these meals too is that you should season things the way you like to eat things. And as you notice, I did not use olive oil, even though, I did use olive oil technically, but instead of using like pure olive oil, I used the Pam olive oil spray. So, and then I'll even spray this down a little bit more. And then we're gonna just do this for 3 to 5 minutes. I'm gonna turn the heat down in a second, but because I'm heating this pan back up, I'm starting it on a high heat, and then I'm gonna get it to medium heat. And I actually like zucchini and cucumbers. Remember I told you I put cucumbers in here too. I've had cooked cucumbers before, but I've never cooked cucumbers myself. And so I'm gonna see how differently they taste as opposed to when I get them store-bought or restaurant-bought. So, I am confident in my cooking skills. So if the pieces are too large, as you can see what I'm doing, I'm using my, once they start to cook up, they actually get softer. As it starts to cook, you can use your spatula to slice the halves further down. And then that way, it makes the pieces a little bit more manageable when you're cooking them. So far, this has been cooking for about 3 minutes, or no, 2.5 minutes. And so, once we get to 5 minutes, we're gonna add in, I had to turn the fan on just because the problem with cooking peppery things in the heat is when the heat gets to the pepper, then it starts to throw off kind of like pepper vapor. And it's hard to like have it in your face. All right, now we're gonna add the onions, and we're gonna add the tomatoes. I should have used a deep pan. Note to self, use a deeper pan next time. And the funny thing is I have deep pans, but I didn't use it. And you're gonna do this 2 to 3 minutes. I'm gonna turn the heat down a little bit just because I don't wanna burn my tomatoes. It smells really good, by the way. And it looks super healthy. This is one of the things I can say about, pandemic life. People are gaining weight, yes, because we're eating more. I think on average, people are actually healthier because we're cooking a lot more things at home. More so than we used to. I mean, people are still ordering out, but it's just not probably nearly as much ordering out as people used to do. And again, it also depends on your situation and stuff like that. Are you in a place that has food deserts and things like that? This is a good opportunity if you're in a place that just doesn't have good variety, because you're in a place that's just kind of geographically isolated, or you're just in a place that just doesn't have nice grocery stores that provide a lot of fresh vegetables. Remember, this place, Home Chef delivers, and they deliver all of these fresh, oh, you can't see, sorry. They're delivering all of these fresh vegetables. You can see that, it's pretty fresh. I'm trying not to cook it down. I'm gonna put it on low heat now, because I don't want to cook the goodness out of my vegetables, but it looks so good. I am quite impressed with that. I'm gonna check on my salmon while we let that just sit there and ruminate. Yeah, my salmon looks like it's coming along pretty well. There's your salmon. It's probably almost ready, if not ready. We're gonna let it stand there for about 2 more minutes, because we wanted to do it for the full 10 minutes. I need to, if you have a temperature thermometer that you can put in your salmon, you want it to be 145 degrees. I'm gonna eyeball it because I just don't have my thermometer. I don't know where it is, I have to find it. But anyway, this is what it should look like. And that's super nice. And your vegetables from the top. See what they're looking like. Right now it's on low heat. And actually, I can put it a little bit lower. I'm on the lowest heat setting. I want to move it around a little bit. And it's just on low right now because I wanted to maintain the heat from it being cooked, but not to really cook much anymore. But the problem with vegetables is that they will continue to cook, so it's hard to keep them warm, but we're doing that right now. So now we're getting ready for the salmon. We're gonna move this around a little bit. Again, it's because you're using a non-stick pan, it's not gonna stick. I'm just gonna use some of this. We're at the point where we're about to plate and serve. So that's how it looks plated. I can actually turn this off. We're gonna pull the salmon out just so you can see it. I can find a salmon looks nice. We'll leave that one there. And then we're gonna move to our table. All right, so you can see plated. It should look like the card, right? I am pretty impressed. We'll try some of this, but well, that's pretty good. So all in all, you see that the salmon came out well. The honey butter starts to melt onto the salmon once you put it onto the bottom. When you plate it, you want it to look similar to this. The skin side is down, and then you have your vegetables, your zucchini cut. As you can see, they cut in wedges. Mine are cut in like quarter wedges, which is fun. And then everything, once it's plated, you can season it a little bit to taste like so. If you like more salt, you put more salt in it when you're cooking. I didn't. And if I want more salt or pepper or hot sauce or whatever, I add it afterwards. But pretty much it came out very well. I'm pleased with it. The taste, let's taste a little bit of it now so we can see what it's like. So the vegetables are fresh. My cooked cucumbers, I can tell, because it tastes like cooked pickles. My salmon skin is crispy. The honey butter is such a nice addition to it. That's so good. Another hit from the home chef. I keep calling it Tiny Chef. Home chef people, please don't get offended. I like your food. So I'm sorry I'm calling you Tiny Chef. Tiny Chef is just one of my favorite games. Like I said, in terms of meal prep, it's pretty easy. About, if you add up all the time, I think less than 30 minutes just because it's salmon. I'm glad I cooked it. I'm glad I made it. This is super fresh. I feel like healthier already without even exercising today. I probably would cook the zucchini for me a shorter time than the 5 minutes. I do in the low end, the 3 minutes. Only because I think I had it on high heat too. I like my vegetables a little bit more crisp, but that's okay. That's not a function of how they sent them to me. That's just how I cook them. So please hit that like button. Let me know if you've tried this recipe. Please hit the subscribe button. And let me know in the comments below what you think of this meal or Home Chef in general. I am rocking with you through this pandemic. Hot honey salmon with zucchini and tomatoes. There you go. We're out of here. Holla. Subscribe and like below. Out.
Subscribe right below.